Hey everyone, and welcome to Get Celebritized. I'm your host, Aurea McGarry, and today you are in for a double treat, a double treat today. I am bringing on two amazing entrepreneurs, business owners, superstars in their own right, and they are going to pour into you some of the nuts and bolts on how they have turned their life, their legacy into something extraordinary, how they can help you all do that as well, and what their secret sauces is to all of their moving up to the top, because we all know there is no overnight success. There is a big iceberg underneath that tip that we all see in those moments of fame. So let me introduce them to you properly before they come up. I have first here Justin Guarini. And you may know that name because he was season 1 runner-up to Kelly Clarkson in American Idol. But he has done even more than that. He is now the co-founder of the Elite Speakers Network, which we're going to dive into. And at the age of 4, he was accepted to the prestigious Atlanta Boys Choir. It's got Atlanta Boy here. He has starred in 7 musicals and has played principal roles on Broadway. Broadway has my heart. He has hosted live red carpet events for the Grammys, for the Emmys, and for the Tonys, along with a 7-year-long commercial campaign I am sure you have all seen for Dr. Pepper as Lil Sweet. Yep, Lil Sweet. Now joining him is the gorgeous, the phenomenal superstar, Kim Walsh Phillips. Wait till you hear what she has done and how she can help you as well, and why these two have teamed up together. Kim is the co-founder of Elite Speakers Network and the founder CEO of Powerful Professionals and Business Coaching Education Company. She is a fellow girl boss here in Atlanta. She was named a must-read for those in business by Forbes magazine. She's the best-selling author of multiple books, including The Shift, Scale Your Business, and Multiply Your Wealth Without Sacrificing You. So important. The Ultimate Guide to Instagram for Business and No BS Guide to Direct Response Social Media Marketing. She does co-host one of the top running business podcast in America with American Idol season 1. We already know Justin, he's joining her today. And she has been featured on Bravo's Below the Deck, and the behind-the-scenes secret weapon of some of the biggest names in business. Now get this, she is the secret weapon behind Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Dan Kennedy, Profit First author Mike Malkowitz, Harley Davidson, Hotel Hilton. I could go on and on, but enough of this. Let's bring them on to the stage. Here they are. We've got none other than Kim Walsh Phillips and Justin Guarini. Whoa.
Hey.
Hello. Hi.
High 10. So we're giving you one right now. Gave her a high 10 to start.
High 10. It's such a pleasure. Such an honor. So glad to have you here.
We're happy to be here. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Well, my audience loves to know the nuts and bolts and secret sauce to success, especially after the pandemic, when so many people had to pivot, were derailed, had to recreate. And Kim, I've known you now through the pandemic from the fabulous Clubhouse, which is where I got to know you. I've got to listen to you, and you are a brilliant businesswoman. And Justin, I know you as we were talking before. My daughter was also a singer and did season 2 of American Idol here in Atlanta. And she got to, meet up with Simon and Paula and all those, back when, Randy, was it Randy?
Yes.
Yes, I'm drawing a blank. And so you've been a part of our life and our family through all of that since season 1, because it's about dreams coming true and stepping out of your comfort zone and what it takes to step out, have that 15 minutes or more of fame. What you do with it afterwards is really important. So many people that are listening may have had that moment in time where they got the job or got this, and then maybe now they don't know what to do with it. Maybe they've lost hope. So we want to give them hope. So tell us, let's start with you, Kim. What is happening and how do you both know each other? Because this is an interesting combo.
Yeah, well, we actually met on the same place I met you. It's on Clubhouse, ironically. Yeah, so during the pandemic, we both were on there with a desire to find and connect with other like-minded humans. And we met each other on a marketing stage and connected that way. And we started working together virtually. And then we brought Justin in to be an MC of one of our events. I became his coach. We started working together more closely. He started doing work for us as a consultant. And then he and I started a business together. So, and it happened 3 years ago, right around this time at that point. Yeah, in 2021. About 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's happened fast, right, Justin?
Well, yeah, I mean, fast as in just,
That's a
I
whirlwind.
guess, yeah. It was not 3 years. You know, it seems like everything looking back on it now happened in the fast in the pandemic. It's just kind of this blur of time. However, Kim and I met at this very interesting and unique intersection of really loving marketing and messaging and finding out what makes someone say yes, like want to say yes, and then a love of like theater and entertainment. You know what I mean? And so when we discovered that about each other, it just was this really fun um, uh, cross section where we decided to like, okay, let's have as much fun as we possibly can with this. And so we decided then to take both of those messages that we really are great at, that we spent the majority of our adult lives working on perfecting, and then putting them together in order to help people get onto a stage and deliver the message that they want to, or get on camera and deliver the message that they want to. Because really, at the end of the day, it's all about service and taking what it is that you're good at and what you're passionate about and sharing that with the world in order to make it a better place.
You know, and definitely speakers. So I get a lot of speakers and entrepreneurs that watch the show. They're looking for those tips on how to be better at what they do. And entertainment, Justin, as a singer and entertainer, when you're speaking, and Kim, you've graced so many stages across the globe. It is a source of entertainment that we have to entertain to market to gain new clients. And I love that you two, in your coaching program, you talk about how to get the yes, how to attract them and how to get them to say yes to you. But don't you agree, and because I have found this, that successful people, they think differently, they work differently, they collab differently, and they network differently. So I want to unpack a little bit about what you both just said, which most people just would let it go. But I want to dive a little deeper into, all right, all three of us have been on Clubhouse. Many people may not even know what that is, but that audio app that came out during the pandemic that we all really, gravitated to. Now, some of us have really utilized that one moment in our time with that audio app and launched great successes and collaborations. And look at this partnership. What tips can you give the people watching that they've done that? Maybe they're still on some audio apps, but nothing like this happened. They didn't just meet Justin or somebody like that, and all of a sudden you're her coach. What made you, Justin, hire Kim to be your coach? Out of all the people that were on the Clubhouse at the time or in any audio app, what made that connection happen? Because many people will utilize social media, but never take action, never take something to that next level. And this is vital. You took it to the next level. Justin, you reached out to her somehow. We want to know how that happened.
I think the two sort of things that I'll bring to the table here, and I can't wait to hear what Kim has to say about it as well, is first of all, making yourself findable, like being findable, not just in, there's an argument to be made either way, being extremely findable in one place, like going all in on Instagram, going all in on Facebook, going all in on LinkedIn. That's one strategy, making yourself findable that way. And then there is the other side of being findable, which is like, hey, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, there are much more economical and efficient ways to create content, to put yourself out there and be omnipresent like that, leveraging AI and stuff like that. I will go into that. And then the other thing is really, and this is what Kim has taught me, which is when you want to work with people, when you want to attract that perfect fit coach, that perfect fit, even client, but someone who you feel like you can learn from, a mentor, the first thing to think about is how can I give? How can I give to this person, right? How can I give them something and not ask it for anything in return? And that was what Kim did for me. I have a lot of people because of having a name and blah, 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 all that shiny stuff, where people will come and ask me for things all the time. And I mostly just say, no, but when someone comes and they say, hey, I'd like to give you something, I'd like to give you this, I'd like to give you that, it is such, first of all, so different than what I'm used to. And then when they give me something that is quality, that benefits me, right? Then that's going to bring about a different perspective and a different relationship with that person. And then Kim invited me into her world by giving. And then once I got into her world, I saw the amazing person that she is. I saw the amazing marketer that she is. And it made me want to give.
Yeah, Justin, I'm sure you're used to people wanting to take from you. You know, it's always like that take. Now, Kim, as that entrepreneur on this, whatever app it is, I love what you said, Justin. Some people just need to go all in. But everybody that I coach and I'm with, everybody is trying to be everywhere and all the social media. But here's a really big, powerful connection. And I'm always trying to tell my world, my community, my clients that collaboration and partnership is key, that there's more power in numbers. So you all made this great connection. So, Kim, tell us a bit about what that connection looked like. All right, everybody was on the app or is still on apps, but what made either Justin reach out to you, or how did you approach it to say, let's take this off the app. Let's see if there's something else. And we know there's a lot of fake people out there on social media as well. And this was real connection. So tell them a little bit about this nut and bolt.
When it comes to creating a relationship with somebody, it really needs to begin with a know, like, and trust factor. And the fastest path to getting someone to know, like, and trust you is to create a connection with something else they already know, like, and trust, right? And so it's why one of the fastest ways to grow your audience is to tap into other people's celebrity. And that's not just because we love famous people. It's by something by Robert Cialdini's book, The Tribe, or Influence, is called The Tribe Effect. We make decisions based on what other people decide. So it's why when we go to buy something on Amazon, we buy the thing with the most reviews, right? Like, we feel safe. It makes us feel okay.
That's true.
The same thing happens when somebody is a famous person. We feel safe. We feel like we know them. Other people trust them. So one of my strategies with being on the app was to quickly identify people I have worked with who people would know. So because I do have some famous clients like Kevin O'Leary, you said in my intro so kindly, that was in my bio, right? So that gives a little bit more in street cred. So one thing you can do is leverage people that are well-known in your industry in the introduction of you. So that makes a connection, helps to create more credibility for you. The second thing is to grow social media following, because when you have a larger following, it creates this trust factor that there's someone who has a legitimate business. You know, Justin and I both we get so many DMs on social. The ones we look at first, I'm not going to lie, it's the blue check mark. Like, if they have the verified moniker, that gives me that trust. I have over 1 million followers on Facebook. I leverage that on my bio, and anybody can get them. I didn't just wait for it to happen. I've grown my following to over 20,000 on Instagram, over 1 million on Facebook. I have that. That also creates more credibility. So when I would reach out to somebody, or I would talk and I would unmute my mic and I would say something about myself, I would leverage examples from people they would already know, like, and trust. So I'm creating that bridge that makes me already stand out from other people who might, you know, talk a good game, but haven't done very much.
I think that's really important, Kim, that you said. I love what you said about having that leverage of the well-known people, because it's very important to say I've worked with or been coached by, even if you've been coached by Tony Robbins or Maria Foley.
I don't know coached by. I'm not sure about coached by, but worked with or spoken on the stage with them, that they've
shared a stage.
I love that. Works well. Been interviewed by works well. But
exactly.
Achieving it is not as much. But if you, this is a little side note tip, if you attended an event of a well-known person and you were on the Zoom with them and they coached you during that event, you can say you shared the stage because you did.
Ooh, that's a good one. I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
It's
And
all positioning.
that's a really good point. That's going to be a soundbite here. That's a great one. And the reason I said that, though, because tell me what you both feel, because you both have large followings on social. Have you found recently that, there's people that can buy the blue check mark, which still I think is validated because you have to prove you are who you are. So they're not saying they're proving to be a celebrity. They're proving they are who they are, which is really important. But nowadays with people buying followers and bots, and now these numbers are like vanity numbers. They're not all the real deal, like how all of us have grown organically. There's a lot of still fake people out there, seem to have a lot of followers, but very little communication, very few comments. How do you differentiate the validity of that? And I do like what you said, saying who you have shared stages with will make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people have bought followers since the beginning of time.
I know.
So that's never been that has always been something that people have done, and it will ruin your account. So I never recommend it. The thing is, Facebook has an actual ad type you can use that's promote your profile. And in Instagram, there's an actual ad type that's promote your post. Those are legitimate ways to grow your account that are completely in compliance with Facebook and Instagram and attract real people. So I would never recommend buying, because then, yes, it will ruin your engagement. And if you have terrible engagement on your posts, but you have a large following, people will question that. I was actually on someone's account yesterday. I was watching some cheesy show from Netflix, and I looked up this lady's account, and she had 6.1 million followers, and she had like 1,000 people liking a post. I'm like,
something's wrong with that picture. Yeah, we always want to stay away from
by that immediate thought right now. And then maybe you're not as famous anymore, and like you were before, and like it could be those things. This stuff happens, and occasionally a post doesn't work as well. But you do want to see at least 1% engagement on the page that counts like 1% to the post, even 0.5%. If you have a very large following, it should be somewhat in alignment, but it's fine. I mean, grow your following. And then the thing you want to do next is you want to find something of value to bring that person. And I know we were talking about that from a specific desire, but like one of the things that we're asked, the first thing I asked for Justin to do for us was to speak at a summit of ours, a virtual event. And when I approach well-known people to be speakers at my events, I do a few things very different than other people do. Number one, I open it up with, can I promote you to my audience? I make it about what they want, what I want from them. Number two, I make it really easy. I'm not going to ask a celebrity to promote my event to their audience, okay? Usually when I get these, it'll say, you should email, you should post. No, I'm not going to ask them to do any of that, because I'm leveraging their name and their brand, not their marketing funnel. Why would they do that? They don't know who I am. Then I usually find some way to like over deliver to them. Can we let them do a free gift that they could still generate leads, even though I don't want them to promote? Can I donate proceeds to the event to a charity they care about? I've done that before. Can I sell a book of theirs to everybody who's on there?
It's all about them. It's all about what can I do for you,
So it's really good timing to track. I have Google alerts set up to track when someone has a new book, a new podcast. They're much more likely to say yes, being interviewed on one of my summits, if they have something they want to promote. And then we'll make sure we create social media posts leveraging their brand, and we'll tag them in it. And oftentimes they will reshare it as a story, even though I didn't ask them to promote. And so I still get a lot of exposure, but what I'm really looking at is finding a way to make it a win. Now, this is another big one. When the event's over, I would do something special for them that they never get. And I would send them something physical in the mail as a gift that they would receive. Justin got many gifts from me before I started this song.
We can be bought, right, Justin?
I mean, it's a great experience. And I would use Neiman Marcus, which has a beautiful unwrapping experience with gorgeous packaging, and send them something super cool with a note, because I wanted them to be thankful that they had the experience and think kindly about it afterwards. And
That
so
does stand out.
I'm like, I love gifts. So I'm living real. And
No.
I don't ever get a present after I do
know.
stuff like
When's the
that.
last time you got a letter or a postcard, right?
I mean, I like gifts too, but more than letters and postcards. But yes, even a letter and postcard would be
makes sense. You know, the appreciation is so important. Make me feel special. What's in it for me? I remember back in the day, everybody knows I used to Mary Kay way back when, pink Cadillacs, all that stuff. And she was such a pioneer for women in business. And she always told us that everyone wears an invisible sign saying, make me feel special.
Yeah.
And Justin, you come from the showbiz world. I mean, start to finish, top to bottom, being in show business and Broadway and, the reality shows, American Idol, all that. And I'm sure we can just imagine.
On Broadway.
Yes, I know. They'll love that. I need some tickets. I hope you're on because I want to come see you. But so I'm so sure you're used to people saying, oh, Justin, can you? What made this with Kim different? Because you didn't know all of this that was going to happen post getting to know her. Here she is, another person, just on audio app making this introduction. What made this special? And then, you guys didn't just stop there. He didn't just speak for you. Now this became a partnership. So Justin, talk to us about that.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
What's interesting is that what really first in sales, we know, like, and trust, right? You want people to know, like, and trust you. And one of the best ways for people to quickly get to know, like, and trust you is by showing up as the professional that you want others to see you as. Right? That's so vitally important. Look at your background. Look at Kim's background. I mean, just a little bit. I just moved into this office, but I got a little bit of the soundproofing on the wall. There's a reason why this is here. I got some other things I need to put back there, but at least it's not busy and distracted. There's a reason why when people look at the two of your backgrounds, for those of you who are listening to this on audio, there are very specific items in both of their backgrounds that speak to who they are. And it's a microcosm of the point that I'm trying to make, which is showing up as the professional that you want other people to see you as. So when I first saw Kim, not only on Clubhouse was her little, what do you call that, a badge, I think, is that what you call it, Kim? The picture? I forget what it's called.
Profile pictures.
Your profile picture. Yeah, exactly. Your profile picture was very, very specific. It was a headshot. It wasn't like a selfie taken in your car. It was like a professional headshot done properly. And then every single time we would be talking in a room, your voice is always bright, always cheery. You were always providing value, right? So you even showed up vocally as the person that you wanted us to see, rather. And then every time I went to a website, every single time I went to any single offering, whether it was a masterclass, whatever it was all professional. It was all intentional. Again,
and see, now he knows the truth behind the scenes is so different.
I know. Oh no, I know how all the hamburgers are made now.
You know it.
I do. I know how all the hamburgers are made, and I don't want to stop ever eating hamburgers because they're so good and they work. Like they work. So when you show up as that professional, and this is, again, goes back to a question I think you asked before. It's like in a world where everybody has access to this massive global platforms, right? How do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself? And, you can go into unique selling propositions and all sorts of stuff. But one of the most simple ways, because listen, we are judgmental people. It's just who we are. And it goes way back to the cave people days when we were a little cold and it was raining and we were looking for some shelter and we saw a cave. What's the first thing that we did? We looked around the cave to see if there was any bones or any animal leavings because we wanted to make sure that we were safe before we went into the cave. Right? We wanted to take care of ourselves. And so we do the same thing now.
That's good.
But that's what I'm saying. But like we do the same thing now. We can pretend to be as holy as we want to be, but when we see somebody, we have a snap judgment about them, whether that's good, bad, or anything in between.
Right.
So That being said, in a world of short attention span theater where we make snap judgments on people when we see them, and there's about 3 seconds where we have to grab somebody before they scroll away or before someone or something distracts them, when you show up as the professional or as that thing or person that you want people to immediately see you as, it is a huge anchor that will make it easier for you to stand out, make it easier for you to hook them and stop them so that they can hear your message. And when you are reaching out and doing what Kim has done and giving to people, they're going to be more receptive and they're going to be more interested in you if you do all of it in that professional way with a very clear message on who you are and why they should pay attention.
So well said. I love that. I have never heard that analogy. It was so good. Looking around to see what can harm us. And our brain is wired that way
Yeah.
to keep us safe.
Yes.
And Kim,
Yeah.
you're such a great example of what I've always been talking, I've been in sales like forever, the I buys. And we could have all the accolades in the world and have all the right people list, whatever, but we don't show up professional. If our headshots aren't done well, those little things, and I love what you said, Kim, those little things, those thank you notes, those appreciation, all that ties it all up. It's not just one thing that makes that connection or one thing that gains the client. And I know you all want to talk about that, so I'm going to give you the platform now to talk about what you do for the entrepreneurs and why the two of you have come together to help it. Because my passion is to really help the entrepreneur, especially, like I said, life was hard enough as an entrepreneur and solopreneur before the pandemic. But afterwards, there's just so many people that still have not gotten their footing yet, that they lost everything. I mean, Justin, you can relate. I mean, Kim, too. Before the pandemic, I was a red carpet MC, a speaker, TV show host. I did events. Everything was in person with tons of people. Yeah. Pandemic, there was like, wow, no income. So we learned we better have some multiple streams of income coming in, and we all had to learn to pivot, so talk to us now about what you do for others and who it is you're exactly trying and can help.
Yeah. So we work with people who have wonderful businesses, but they are looking at how they're going to scale their business, and they have relied upon word of mouth and referrals for a really long time, and they've done beautiful and incredible work, but they still feel like they're that best kept secret. And we work specifically with coaches and consultants that want to launch that high ticket offer that lets them scale their impact and their income. So what we do is we build their list, we build their authority and their celebrity, and launch their high ticket offer in a way that scales their business and can create anywhere between really big. I shouldn't want to give promissory numbers, so I'll just say really big paydays for them. Launch their high ticket offer in a scalable way that lets them scale the work that they were getting paid by the hour to do in a way that finally gets them get paid while they're sleeping on vacation, and they can still impact the world.
So important thing I just heard you say, because I'm really big in marketing demographics myself. You work with people who already have a business, not coming in to start creating, let's figure out what you can do.
Yeah. Correct. Now, that being said, some of our clients have successful businesses, but the coaching is like an add-on they want to do now. Like they want to create legacy. Like maybe they were a really successful accountant and they want to show other accountants how they grew their business. So it doesn't need to be that they were a coach, but they are an expert and have already been doing their primary thing that they want to share with others.
You're speaking my language. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, where we love to come in is when a successful business owner has, maybe put together a course or has a product or a service and feels like they're in the hamster wheel of one-on-one, or maybe a few one-to-many things here and there, but they just don't really know how to make that big offer, make that high ticket offer that ends up taking them out of what feels like that hamster wheel of just, okay, I've got to come up with this new product that I have to sell. I've got to come up with this new course. I've got to come up with this sales cycle.
Launch product.
Right. And
launch this, launch that. Yes, exactly. We come in and we say, hey, look, you know that you need to launch this high ticket offer. but maybe you tried it before and failed. Maybe you don't really know how to structure it. Maybe you don't really know the exact person that you want to go after and how to, as scary as it may seem, niche down
Oh,
to
people
actually, because they
don't
say,
fight
right?
that.
They do. They fight it all the time. So many of our clients do that, and then after we're done, and they're done, they
You're
say, "Oh my
done with
goodness, I'm
them.
so glad. I feel so relieved." Yeah, exactly. So to be able to do that, and so you need this high ticket offer. You know that there's a possibility, and we come in and we give you the blueprint, the step by step plan
So do
on
you
how to do that.
guys feel that, because I don't want to give them all the secrets, I really want them to get with you. I've heard you all speak. We both shared the stage at a big event a couple of months ago, and you all were fantastic. I love your synergy together. I love your chemistry. It's like a match made in heaven. Absolutely just phenomenal. So do you find, here's the $1 million question that's out there amongst
Mhm.
our clients, is which came first, the chicken or the egg? What is better, having, or both maybe, having a business, having your offer where you have a lower ticket so more people can make an easier decision, or what I think you're all saying, have a higher ticket offer where it's less people making the decision, but you're making more with less of the crowd. Tell us a little bit about what you feel is kind of a good spot on that, because that's like the question I get. Should I have a low ticket and have more people and it's an easier, faster yes, or that higher tickets, it's harder possibly to make that bigger investment? What say you both?
So we talk about it being a pathway, right? And like, I only want the right people going on my path at any point. I'm going to only attract people to my low ticket who I want in my high ticket. Low ticket, some people think about, I have a low ticket, I have a 97, a 37, whatever, so that I could give things to people who can't afford my high end coaching. That's the wrong model, because now you have the wrong people in your audience. If you have a lower ticket first opportunity to work with you that gives them a sample, lets them date you before they marry you, then you want that to be the same person that would want to take your high ticket offer.
That's good.
Yeah. And you can
You know that. That's good.
10%, 10% model. This is a super simplification. But if I'm going to have 3 steps, let's say my top tier is going to be a $15,000 a year coaching or $1,500 a month. Then my next step below that is going to be $1,500. And my next step below that is going to be $150. So you could think about these being, they should be the same audience, just walking them on the steps to take that pathway. And it's really about step 1, shows them the opportunity that exists. Step 2 shows them the blueprint they need to create to get there. And step 3 makes it happen. It's the same person. It's just the pathway in order to accomplish those goals.
That is so good. So it's not one or the other. It's both, and that is golden. I hope everybody's really leaning in. That's a definitely something I want them to really listen to again. That it's not you have 2 separate clients, a low end and a high end.
Mm-mm.
You have the same client that's sampling, and you hope for them to move up. And if it's a right fit, it's an easy decision to step up. That is good. Justin, what do you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of, I understand it. As entrepreneurs, we want to serve. Unfortunately, sometimes we want to serve everybody, and we end up serving nobody. But it's possible to serve what we would consider, if you don't take what Kim said, and the normal sort of low ticket. It is possible to serve a low ticket client. But think about how much more effective it is if you do it from a high ticket vantage point. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Tesla didn't make the cheap car first. Tesla made the extremely expensive, high-end, only so many people could buy it. Why? Because they just wanted to be exclusive and cool? Sure, that's part of it.
Also,
but ultimately they knew, yes, that's part of it, but ultimately they knew that there was going to be a small number of people who would buy and spend whatever they were asked to spend to be the first to have these really amazing cars. So what did Tesla do? Tesla raked in so much profit from that small group of people that they were then able to research and fund and finance and figure out how to make the less expensive cars how to make the production plants more efficient so that they can pump a bunch of. So that high ticket offer ended up funding the rest of their low ticket products,
Brilliant.
services, offerings, right?
And
Now,
plus the
so when you
FOMO
think
going
of it
on.
that way,
The FOMO, people are like, what if?
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. So you're building all that FOMO, you're building your exclusivity, you're building your brand, and you're having people pay you to do it. And that to me is extremely sexy when it comes to marketing and all
I
that.
like that.
And so yeah. And so you can, yes, you ultimately want to have that same person at the low end as you do at the high end because you can walk them and ascend them up. But another way to think of it is to be able to get that high end client and then finance the rest of the offers moving down the ladder.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and I love that. And that is, I think if you don't figure out what you want to do at the high end first, you can't build a successful, profitable business because you're going to have the wrong people in the room in the beginning. And I even like for you to think about that first offer that you have. The only purpose of that is to pay for your marketing. You are not taking that money and going retiring at Fiji. It should go back in your business. But now, then you've taken something. Now you get to market your business for free, and you can market as much as you want. And that's the secret to scaling. So you build out your math, not magic formula in a way that lets that first ticket, that first thing you sell, pay for everything you do behind it.
It's such good advice, boys. Such great golden nuggets here. And I want people to know that you do so much for them because you can give us all this advice and all the people listening, all the things to do. I know because we're in this business of coaching and helping people that they need you to help implement this because this all sounds great on paper and on the show, but there really is that secret sauce to implementation. And I believe that we're in this conga line of life. There's always somebody ahead of us that we need to hang on to. Coaches always have coaches. I mean, I wouldn't hire a coach and already have a coach that was higher up doing more than. And then we turn around and help others who aren't where we are yet. So there's this wonderful always being in the middle. And it's really important to have these coaches and these mentors. So in a nutshell, before we kind of wrap up, I want to ask you guys some fun questions as well. But for the people listening and saying, gosh, this sounds really good. What are like maybe one or two things that you all do help them implement? So, and how do they get a hold of you to find out if this could be a fit? What's that first stepping stone for you all to see if they are a good fit for you? And what makes you like really help them?
We have free master classes every week that we invite people to come into.
Every week?
Yeah. Just so you can come behind the scenes to see how to launch and grow a successful high ticket offer. And you can join and find out more about when those things are, getting a free course that we have that'll help you build your audience. We talked about big audience is important to build trust. Well, step one is we have a free course for you at the audiencebuilderblueprint.com/sign me up.
I love that. Sign me up.
That's a great first step. And then what we do with people is we really help them unlock what is that magnetic message that will attract their right fit clients. How do you turn that message into an opt-in to get them on your list? And how do we turn that opt-in into the first monetization and then the high ticket offer launch quickly? So you can go from 0 to high ticket launch in 90 days. That's the goal. And that's
the time frame.
Yeah.
And you can't see the picture within the frame. Everyone needs somebody to look at what they're doing and point out because we're all kind of married to ourselves and what we're doing. We don't see what the other world needs to see. So important for that. Justin, what about you? And I've got your you guys' website up there, theaudiencebuilderblueprint.com. Sign me up and I'll put in all the descriptions because I love that you do it weekly. That you're so speaking my language on that. Be consistent. Like I do this show and this podcast every single week. You can't just show up now and then. What if they're not free the first Monday of the month that ends with a Y? You know, it's got to be every week because, you're here every week. I love it. So people have to jump in and be consistent. So what say you, Justin?
I say, and this is another little nugget, when you are making an offer, have one call to action. Have one call to action. And that's exactly what we're doing right here. You put it up on the screen and it just shows me exactly where to go. That's it. So that is the only place you have to go. The audiencebuilderblueprint.com/sign me up. Now, why is that important? Because when you have multiple calls to action telling people to go to different places, sometimes they might just
Use
go, "Nah,
mine.
I don't want to go anywhere." Right, exactly. Which is
If
why
use
it's
mine
so
does
vitally
nothing.
important just to have one place. So the audiencebuilderblueprint.com/sign me up is the
And
place to go to find out more about how we can help you.
And I love that. And Sign Me Up is free. Sign Me Up. This isn't where anybody has to pay any money yet. It's that free sample. And I believe in this day and age more than ever, we do need to experience each other. I always talk to my clients and my friends in my community about letting their potential clients experience them. Even before the audio apps, I was always saying, go on people's shows, go on podcasts, do videos, do reels, do lives, because they don't just need to see the stagnant picture. They, like Justin, I know that it was Kim's voice and her implementation and her mannerism that helped she knows what she's talking about. She has a kindness to her, but she's also brilliant. It doesn't come out as much in a post. Anybody can do a post, but they need to see you, hear you. And I think it makes such a difference. And again, week in, week out, people have to dive into that social media, but they can do that all day long, myself included. We can all do that all day long. But if you don't have a plan, like you all can really say, let's take this now and let's make it happen. Enough fooling around, enough just being part of the crowd. Let's step this up.
Between being busy and being productive.
Yeah.
Right? Both activities that exert energy, but only one's going to get you closer to your goal.
Absolutely. What's the name of your podcast? I'm a podcast lover, so.
The podcast is the Scale Fast Podcast.
Yeah, let me do things fast. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised in New York City. Let's get it done. Either, do it or get off the pod. It's time to move this along. So get it done fast. I'm excited about that. So let me ask you some fun questions. What is the best advice? I want each of you to answer. What's the best advice you ever got, and from who was it from? It really just served you well.
Wow. Okay, so one of the best pieces of advice I got when it comes to fame in the entertainment business was I was sitting with Lionel Richie one time, and he and as one does.
I love that. Lionel
right.
Richie.
I know. So excuse me. Let me pick up that name I just dropped. and I was talking to him about how his career went and just the ins and outs of the entertainment business, and he said to me, look, the thing about fame doesn't necessarily change you. I mean, it does, but that's not what it does first. Fame magnifies first what's going on in your life. Fame magnifies what's going on in your life. And so always be aware of that, right? Whatever's going, if you're chasing after fame, which I would not suggest for anyone to do, but I think that there's something in America, certainly, that we've become obsessed by these vanity metrics of likes and followers, subscribers, and blah, 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 that don't really matter. But if you're chasing after that, I would caution you to remember that fame, that kind of fame, will magnify what's going on in your life. So if you step into that, make sure that you step into that with the right mindset. Make sure you step into that with a body and a routine physically that will serve you, mentally that will serve you. Make sure you step into that with maybe a spirituality or a sense of self that will serve you, that is serving you right now. Make sure you step into that place with relationships that are serving you in your life. Make sure you're stepping into that with an understanding of business that serves you, because any of the grenades that are in your life right now, the landmines that are in your life right now, will turn into atom bombs with that level of fame that you're seeking, and you just might get it.
Right.
So that's one of the greatest pieces of advice. Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Lionel Richie, thank you for such great advice, because it is true. The more solid you are, because we've seen so many people, whether it's in the business world, Kim, where they get to the business world fast, or whether it's the show business world like Justin, they get there too fast and they fall just as fast. And we've seen all that in the news, how they rise and they fall. We don't want that. So I love saying build your premise on a rock, really have all that in place before you just open yourself up to the world like that. And Kim, being in the business world, what say you? Best advice
And
you ever got.
I can't say best because I will say that there's been so many wonderful moments, and I don't want to. I've had great advice from so many mentors that I don't want to begrudge on any of them. But one piece of advice we got about a year ago when we did we started working with Glenn Shepard from Below Deck, because one name drop hits another name drop, and
Drop them all.
and he gave us a lot of really great advice that day, which was, we're actually working with him to create a book and his keynote talk, which is so much fun. But he gave me a mind-blowing piece of advice, which was never tell somebody who tells you a piece of information that you already know it if you need to depend upon them to come to you in the future. And I was like, that's so smart, because so often we are like ego driven without even thinking about it. Yeah. Someone tells us something, we're like, oh, I already knew that. Well, then that person's not going to come to you for something again in the future because they're like, I feel dumb when I tell them things. Instead, you go, that's awesome. You just acknowledge the gratitude for them having told you that thing. And then that's someone who feels comfortable coming to you in the future. So it's been great. I implemented that advice right away with my team, with my family, with my my clients. That's great. Thank you. I don't tell them I already knew it, because that allows them to come, and it opens up those lines of communication.
That's great, Kim. I already knew that. No kidding.
Cute. I like it.
That was so good. Really, nobody's ever said that either. It's a really good piece of advice as well. So I love that you both have some really good mentors in your life. And I know both of you have received such great mentorship and advice along the way, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't. And in return, you have given such great advice and mentorship and leadership to those who are in that conga line. So you're always getting it from above and giving more from those to bring them up. And I love that the three of us as well. I feel like we are all those balcony friends that people need, that we all will bring people up, because we've all been at these stages. We just want to bring everybody up, and then we're grabbing onto somebody else who's further, and they're bringing us up, and that just makes life so much more worth living. So our lives are full of great advice, great mentorship, and those are two great pieces. I love those. Now, with that, for some fun, what is on your bucket list? You all have done so much in your life, and you've stepped out of your comfort zone. I mean, you've done things that most people are like, gosh, I wish I was brave enough to do that. What's something that's on that bucket list that you'd love to share with us that maybe your friends don't even know is on your bucket list?
I mean, I'm really vocal about this. I want a week-long vacation that no one calls me at the beach with a cocktail in my hand.
You need a bigger one than that. Wait a minute.
Number one bucket list item right now.
She needs a break, people. So if you're one of her clients or friends, give her a break.
That is the reality, and the future is in my own hands in doing so. I shall make that happen. But
what beach? What beach? We won't come to see you. Don't worry.
I mean, the Cayman Islands would be great. Greek Isles. I have a lot of them saved in my Instagram folder.
All right. Well, don't let anybody know where you are. So there's no service. All right. You heard it here first. We got to give Kim Walsh Phillips a break. So mental health and self-care is so important, as you know, especially as women. We tend to not take care of ourselves. Justin, what's on your bucket list? Maybe some people will be surprised is on it.
Oh my goodness. I would definitely love a vacation also.
You guys are working hard.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. But I think a bucket list for me is to really produce in film or television. I really, really love working behind the scenes. I like working in front of the camera and on the stage, but I really love the idea of producing. Again, it is not for the faint of heart. I understand. I've been around quite a few producers, and it is it's a slog, but it's a mountain that I've seen a lot of people, and that I've been a part of helping a lot of people.
What makes it attractive to you? What makes it, because you're saying like you haven't done that before? I know you've done a lot. What's making it attractive?
Yes, but my label hasn't been the producer. As an actor being on the stage in front of the camera, I've been asked for my advice, my thoughts. I've powwowed with producers about executing certain things. Yeah. However, there is something to be said for being the designer of the message, right? Because we have these wonderful shows that, think of your favorite sitcom. right? Underneath that was always a message. There was always sort of a through line for that. I don't care if it's Friends or Will and Grace or I
You're
don't
saying all of them.
know,
Oh my
whatever it
gosh.
is. Cheers, yeah, whatever
It's
it may be, there's always that through line. Let's say take Cheers, for example. Like
Mhm.
Cheers was like all these different people who found one place to come together and be a family.
Mhm.
And all their problems, they supported one another. There was like that Cheers, where everybody knows your name,
Yeah.
right? That feeling of belonging.
They all
That
know.
was one of the underlying things of Cheers. And to be able to create a show like that, that gives people that feeling, that helps people maybe foster that feeling in their own lives, I think it's one small way to help make the world a better place. It's one small way to help maybe open people's minds to new perspectives that they
Yeah.
hadn't considered.
Do you have
And
something in
that's
the
something
making?
that
Do you have an
yeah,
idea?
yes, we do actually. Yeah, we do have a couple of ideas in the making. One of them, Kim and I have, and so like that. There's something to be said. Also, getting back to what it is that Kim and I like to do for entrepreneurs who are looking to make that next leap. Is there is something to be said for entertaining over educating, and the way we love to work and operate is to help people really discover the entertainment inside their message, because it ends up opening their right to fit customers' minds to an experience that they might not have otherwise opened their minds to, because they're so busy being hit with facts and numbers and blah, 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 blah
Yeah.
all day long when it comes to
Fun.
business. And yet some of the most successful brands base their message on entertainment, sometimes so that they don't even barely mention the brand until, if in a
Yeah.
commercial, until the last 5 seconds. But the first, whatever, 25 seconds of the 30-second commercial is all these wonderful, entertaining things. And then boom, they hit you with the brand and then they're out.
I
That's
like to call it edutainment.
exactly.
So they're learning, they don't know it, they're having so much fun. And that makes it so great. And I love that you guys have come together, because when people want to speak, or they do have to, if you're in business, you have to market. If you're not the
Yeah.
speaker of it, you have to find somebody who is the face of it.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere along the line, somebody has to let people know that their doors are open and what they have to offer. And you guys teach them
Yes.
so well how to be the entertainer, the marketer of their business without the same old, same old. And we need to stand out in this business. So you guys are just doing an exceptional job. I have one last question. You guys have been just so gracious to be here. I am your biggest fan now forever. I just want to let everybody know what you do. Absolutely love this. This is, I feel, the beginning of me knowing you all better as well, because I love cross promotion. You know, my community needs to know you. You do something different than what I do, but we're all in the same thing, wanting to help entrepreneurs grow and be happy, be joyful. And my third thing in this show, the reason I do this, is to help them earn and live, but to give. I'd love to give you this opportunity to give your favorite cause a shout out, because I promised God after my cancer, and they took out my vocal cord nerve, told me I'd never speak again above a whisper. I defied the odds, and I'm a walking miracle. And I told God I would let my voice be the voice for nonprofits and charities and shout them out anytime I get a microphone in front of me. So what is your favorite charities? Give them a shout out, because I want more people to know about them right now.
Mine is Sandy Austin. Some of you may have met her on Clubhouse. She's in our community, and we believe your business should be so successful you could become the number one donor of the charities you love. And so I don't. My clients have money, but I also want to be able to serve the world. So I have one grant program, and I give a nonprofit a spot on, and they pay only $97 a month for our coaching, and then I donate it back to the charity. So Sandy Austin's my charity that we support, and her organization is called Bionic. It's Believe It or Not, I Care, and it's a program that's in middle schools and high schools to prevent bullying and child suicide.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
So impactful, because really a lot of the problems we have in the world start at the middle school and high school level. And I believe if we can get to the core of solving that problem, we can change the world.
I so agree. I've raised two teenage girls. Now, well, not teenage anymore, but yeah, that middle school is a rough road. Justin, what's your favorite cause?
My favorite cause is Global Harmony USA, and it is a lovely little charity that was started by a monk in Japan. And I've gone over to Japan and supported his work in helping children. Really, it's children who are disadvantaged children in places like Burma and Myanmar who are just basically roaming around the streets and need someone to guide them. In that country, a lot of the intellectuals were killed off so that the people who took power could take power and just be corrupt and do whatever it is they wanted to do. And so he, in that part of the world, in the USA and around the world, really helps to support children, helps support education, helps give them a place to live and grow up and be safe. And so that's one of my favorite ones. So it's Global Harmony USA.
I'll make sure those websites are in the description everywhere I post this show. Thank you so much for helping everyone learn how to earn more, live more, and give back more. You guys are amazing. I hope you'll come back sometime, get a follow-up, see where you guys are a couple months down the road or next year and see what you're doing then. Because I know it's only the beginning for both of you. Even though you've been at this for a very long time, there's so much more in your life and in your legacy to happen. And you are living your legacy right now. Justin, Kim, thank you so much for being on Get Celebritized.
Thank you for having us. You're a joy.
Thank you so much. Until next time, this is Aurea and Kim and Justin signing off, hoping you go out there and earn more, live a big, vivacious legacy life so you too can give back more. Bye for now.